Welcome to Nifty challenge. Alright, as you have requested, I'll be starting the technical analysis videos, and before I start I will request you to go and listen to the videos fully, because that'll be something very important. Because apart from learning these technical analysis, which is something you can find about many videos about it, but I assure you, the way I'll tell you, the way I'll teach you these things, you will definitely never forget it and take the right advantage of things in future. Now before I start, let me tell you that a lot of you might have known these things already, might have taken some classes. See, there are a lot of people who teach these things. There are a lot of people who charge for these things, and they will just teach you in general because they are like a mob of people. They are like a like a shed of cattle where you have a mob, and they just do their job by telling you the things, and it is your job to do the homework. Moreover, what I believe is that knowledge which is given free and without any ego, without any selflessness, is only the best knowledge that you always remember. I hope you've all gone to schools, and I'm sure if you are 60-70 years old, you never remember your school times more, or the knowledge, the teachers that they gave you. Of course you do some, but the knowledge that your parents have given you, because that came as a selfless knowledge, that came without any charge, that is something you will remember for your life. And that is what I believe in, that the knowledge that you will learn without any money is definitely the knowledge that you will always remember. Before I start, I want to tell you a very important story, and that story will clear the concept of markets in your mind. Now this is about a glass vessel. You have a glass beaker, you can say, and inside the glass beaker, I'm sorry, I'll use both the languages, sometime I'll use Hindi as well. You have a lot of flies. उस glass के beaker में बहुत सारी मक्खियाँ हैं. Just imagine you are one of them, and have you ever seen the fly is trying to go out of the glass? What the fly does? वो बार बार एक दूसरे कॉर्नर पे अपने आप को मार रहा है. It's trying to break the glass and he's trying to go out, but he's not able to. Now other flies who are also sitting down, they've already tried and they are already sitting. Now imagine this glass vessel as the success of market, and this glass vessel is open from top, but the fly doesn't know it. Even you don't know that you're sitting inside, you don't know where to go from. So this fly is just trying to break the glass and move out, and he's not able to. Finally he gets tired, he comes down, sits with the other flies, and somebody tell him that I heard you should go for some classes about this technical analysis. You should it will take some money, it will take some hard work of yours, and definitely go for these classes, and then your life will change. All right, do you think that after you go and join these classes, you will break the glass as a fly? I don't think so. So no matter whatever motivation class, whatever analysis class, anything this fly will do, he will not be able to break the glass. All that somebody needs to tell this fly is to change your approach. Now that is what I believe in. You need to change your approach to be successful in the markets. So my first rule for you guys, if you want to be successful in the market, is to remove a preset mind. Please, this is the first rule when you enter in markets. Now if you are already bullish about market, if you expect an upside, then all the indicators, no matter what you learn, everything, all the news, everything that you will see will only be towards bullishness. You will only see the positive sides. The same way, vice versa. If you are already bearish in your mind about the markets, all the technical analysis, all the indicators that I will teach you or you will learn anywhere, you will try to find those indicators itself in the chart. So this is the first rule that is very important to enter into markets, that please do not have a preset mind. Alright, not wasting your time as usual, trying to teach you in as early as possible, I'll come to the first chapter. And the first thing that we should learn today are dojis. Now what are dojis? Dojis are basically reversal patterns. There are three kinds of dojis. The first one is a dragonfly doji, the second one is a gravestone doji, and the third one is a long-legged doji. Let me come to a chart of Nifty so we can see it better. Okay, so first we will talk about a long leg doji. Let me see. Okay, something more similar, something more better. Okay, here it is. This is a doji, this is a doji. Basically, what is the meaning of doji? The meaning of doji basically tells you that the closing and opening was at the same price. मतलब जहाँ open हुआ वहीं बंद हुआ. This is the most important concept that you need to keep in your mind about doji. Now this is a long leg doji. It's like a T which is formed. It is called long leg because this horizontal line के vertical line is above and below both. It's a long leg and there is a line above. Now when a doji is formed after a green candle like this, it is usually said to be a reversal sign. However, you see here it was formed after a green candle, but market did not fall, it went up. So the most important part of doji is volumes. Now we will understand, this is something which I am telling you that everybody will tell you. Now we will understand it in the right way how to treat dojis and how to play with dojis. So the most important thing about doji is volumes. Now just imagine कि कोई एक शेयर है which is like 100 rupees. तो उस पे 100 buyers हैं. They 20 people bought 1000 shares at 100 rupees. That means there's a demand of buying. The share went a little up. It had a rumper circuit of 102. It went to 102. Then when it went to 102, around 100 people started selling it. The share came back to 100 rupees. That is what it formed a doji. It went up. It probably went down also to 98 once and come back and closed at 100. So it formed a doji. Now there is no volume. 100 people bought and sold. There is nothing. Now this is how games happen in the market. A lot of people, a lot of operators, what they do is they try to show you that a doji has been formed, market will reverse, but it doesn't. So this is what is the most important thing you track is the volumes. Now I'll show you the volume. And now we'll see dojis with the volume and how it really affects. Now what here volume means, what basically आप इसको हिंदी में समझो. एक शेयर है, उसमें 1 लाख लोगों ने उसको पहले बाइंग करी. जब वो 90 रुपीज़ पे था, वो ऊपर गया, वो 95 पे खुला. पहले 1 लाख लोगों ने सेल किया, वो 90 रुपीज़ पे आया. उसके बाद 2 लाख लोगों ने उसको बाइंग स्टार्ट करी, वो ऊपर चला गया और वापस 90 रुपीज़ से बंद हो गया. इससे पहले वो शेयर शायद रेड था या ग्रीन था, वो हम आगे बात करते हैं. अगर वो ग्रीन था, अगर वो रेड था, वट एवर. सो इफ़ इट वॉज ग्रीन or if it was red, it doesn't matter right now. What we are discussing it, what is actually happening in the doji. So people bought that share first, then they sold that share. Now it means it really shows you that एक ऐसा level आया था doji में, there was one point जहाँ पे लोगों को लगा कि यहाँ पे उनको profit book करना चाहिए, तो उन्होंने वापस गिराना शुरू कर दिया. तो इसीलिए वो रिवर्सल साइन होता है कि एक पॉइंट पे वो लोगों ने बाई किया, वो 90 पहले 90 आया, 90 से वापस 95 पे गया, 95 पे फिर से सेलिंग आ गई. इसका मतलब वो मार्केट में क्लियरली आपको ये इंडिकेट कर रहा है कि 95 एक ऐसा लेवल है जो लोगों को लगता है कि कंपनी की वैल्यूएशन से इसके ऊपर उसकी वर्थ नहीं है. This is the very important thing you have to understand, because most of the people only teach you technical, they will not teach you fundamental analysis. I will definitely come to fundamental analysis also if I get time someday, but this is what you have to relate with fundamental analysis कि उसकी कंपनी की एक्चुअल वैल्यूएशंस है 50 रुपये की नहीं, 100 रुपये है कि नहीं है. अगर नहीं है तो लोगों को लगा कि वो 95 पे इसको बेचना ज़्यादा ठीक है, उन्होंने उसको बेच दिया. इसका मतलब it has come to a level where it is clearly telling you that 95 is a point where people will book profit and it starts reversing. So that means now what happens, some people who have missed out, they start selling at a lower price because they might be holding it from much before, and then the demand falls and a sale starts. So this is what doji indicates. Basically when this thing has formed, it is clearly telling you what is the people expecting out of this particular stock at that particular level. Let's see it now. Let's see somewhere where there are huge volumes for the doji. Okay, let me just show you a chart of a share. So I have taken ICICI Bank here. Now see, it's told, any analyst you will check, he will normally tell you that if you see the dojis which are formed, then something very important is the volumes on that day, and they normally tell you that you have to see that volumes are normally higher than the previous day. Now I don't believe in all these things. Okay, of course volume do matter, as I have already told you कि भाई अगर 100 ही लोग खाली खरीद रहे हैं और बेच रहे हैं, आपस में गेम कर रहे हैं, तो it is nothing, it is not significant. But what I am trying to teach you in a way is that we have to see fundamentals along with the technical analysis. So if you see the fundamentals, the fundamental of the company itself are like, you have to see the EPS, the PE ratio, a lot of things are there. Is the company share actually worth it or not? So let's see this doji here. So see, this is a long leg doji, right? As I have told you, so the stock was moving up, it formed a long leg doji. So don't see it as a pattern on the chart itself, see it as a fundamental. Now अब इसको अपनी लैंग्वेज में एक बार देखो, शेयर था, लोग उसको खरीद रहे हैं, वो ऊपर जा रहा है, ऊपर जा रहा है, ऊपर जा रहा है. यहाँ पर क्या हुआ, इसकी ओपनिंग देखो. लुक हेयर व्हेन आई एम पुटिंग द कैंडल, जस्ट सी दिस थिंग. It opened at 310, made a high of 311, made a low of 305 and closed at 310 again. So this, a lot of people will also tell you that doji is usually a colorless thing. It should be neither red, neither green, also not significant. It can be a slight red also, it can be a slight green also. That is also a doji in itself, what I assume it to be, what I take it to be. Now how I see these dojis, have you seen my videos, have you seen my analysis of Nifty that I give you every day? I take support on the dojis. I'm just not taking support because dojis are a support. I am seeing the fundamentals. I am seeing that what happened, why the doji was formed. Means there was some power at that point in the level of the market that people saw this as a point of sell. Means that point when comes, it comes as a buying or a selling point for the people. So usually, now coming back, a long leg doji forming after green candles, a long leg doji is a sign of a reversal. So a long leg doji is formed, means it opened at 310, just went a little high and then selling came. That means this is a point where people want to book profit. So that everybody started selling. The moment it started falling, everybody started selling. The next day again it opened high, but the doji has been formed. It is not sustaining here, and then a fall came in the market. So this is what the dojis are basically indicating you is, you have to see it with the fundamentals, that whether it is actually the worth of the company or not. A lot of the times these dojis are formed. You see a lot of time dojis are formed. It has to fall, but it doesn't fall. It comes back. This is where you relate the dojis with the fundamentals. You relate the dojis with the fundamentals and the news. Now what happened when Reliance started moving up in March? It was because it was selling the rights issue to a lot of companies. So these things itself do matter a lot. Now when I'm talking about fundamentals, अब यार जब कोई कंपनी बंद होने वाली है, when a company is about to shut down, when their business is not performing, when their shares are not able to give profits, when they are in losses, when they are in debts, what will chart patterns do? No matter how much doji you form, no matter how much circuit it forms, what is the point of going a share up when the company itself doesn't have a worth? So always do not rely on a single data. You have to see a lot of things. That is why we are just starting with doji, and we will move to a lot more things. We will understand candlestick pattern along with fundamentals and how to use them in the market. So this is basically what I showed you is a long leg doji forming after a green candle. It is a sign of a reversal. Forming after a red candle, it is again a sign of reversal, but always related to the fundamentals. Coming to the next one. The next one is your gravestone doji. Okay, a gravestone is basically, let me come back to the chart. So this is a gravestone doji. A gravestone doji is a similar pattern. This is not a gravestone. At the bottom, when you will find this horizontal line, it will be called a gravestone doji. At the top, when you will find a line, it will be called as a dragonfly doji. All these other dojis where you have a both upside and downside, they are known as a long leg dojis. Now let me show you some example of the gravestone and the dragonfly and how they affect the market. Chart now. This is a gravestone doji. When you have a long upper shadow and a bottom horizontal line, it's called a gravestone doji. Similarly, this is a dragonfly doji. When you have a long shadow on the downward side and a horizontal line on the top, it can be just on the border or it can be near ways. It's still the same thing. Now the important thing about gravestone doji is there is a long upper shadow. Volume is usually high on that day. What you see, high in the sense means it is more than the previous day. See, it is slightly more than the previous day. Okay, it does matter. Forming a doji with a volume high. So it, see what happened here. Opened at 402, made a high of 413, and then it's made a low of 398 but closed at 401. So what happened means it is not able to go up. It is a reversal sign for bearishness. So it's a very good sell opportunity. And see what happened after that. Markets gave a very good fall after that. Now after this, till where it goes, all these things you will learn again when you will learn how to form the trend lines, how to form the levels, where will market take support and resistance. That again depends on which have been a stronger levels in the past, more in the forward, including many more things, many more patterns, Fibonacci's, and a lot of things. Talking about Dragonfly Doji now. So Dragonfly Doji, again, it has a long upper shadow, sorry, long lower shadow, and again the volume is higher on that day, although this is not a very significant one, but I'm just trying to explain you. So if there is a red candle before this, then usually it is a very good buy opportunity. However, since this is formed on a green one, it was a good sell opportunity, which you can see again carried forward, and a selling came in the market. And see here, a dragonfly is formed, a red candle before, a doji with a very high volume, and market reversed. I hope this will make you understand. Now, most important thing, one of the most important thing is that what you have to see in the dojis are that these dojis are to be checked with a 1 month previous high and previous lows. So the good part of the dojis that you have to see, that dojis are formed on monthly charts. Let me show you these things. So if a doji is formed at a high, suppose I'll just go to the weekly chart first. So like, let's assume this month, July to September. So this is a, you can say a kind of a doji, you can say a kind of a dragonfly. So it is a high, it is a high from previous few months. Even if you go on a daily chart, when these dojis are formed, what you have to see is whether they are formed that the markets were on a high from a previous 1 month or on a low from a previous 1 month. That is very important to make the doji more effective, which you have to see. And another thing, these dojis which you are seeing are never valid in the mid market. So don't see these dojis on 15-minute charts, on 1 hour charts and all. Please don't use these dojis on a mid market candles. I hope you have understood some basic concept about dojis as of now. Now you have to see a lot of charts, go into some charts, do some homework, see some charts where you can find dojis, relate to what I have told you, listen to this video 2 to 3 times, see what they are doing, see what is happening after a doji, compare it to the fundamental of the company using ticker tape for that particular time. How was the EPS? How was the P ratio? What was the company's revenue? How were their earnings? Were there any news forming these dojis? Also, I will not recommend you to trade on news, but these things do matter. Now, suppose you are seeing that some company is collaborating or they are improving their business and news has come about it and it has formed a doji, then definitely you can use it as a good sign. I hope this will help you. I think I should be finished with dojis here. If you have any queries, please post comments on this video and we will talk about dojis more. You can mark where are dragonflies, where are, see, now this doji is formed but the volumes are lower than previous days, so you don't see it as a very significant one. Coming to this one, let me see a doji which is at a monthly high. Let's see this. See, from 1 month, this is at a 1 month high, almost a 1 month high. When this doji is formed, it is a clear cut reversal sign. You see, from here the market started falling, it took support. Now how it took support, we will again learn how it takes support. Now these support are coming from monthly, weekly and daily charts. There are a lot of things, we will not talk about it right now, but I'm just trying to show you how the doji affects. You see, the doji is formed and it falls on a monthly basis. It was almost a monthly high and there was a good volume. It is quite a good volume compared to the previous days. Alright guys, thank you so much, and please share with your friends, like, subscribe. Thank you.